Shalom, giving all praise unto Yahweh Shema Shabbat Koha Kodasha. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and all the brothers that be pushing the truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And the brother body are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shema Shai. And this is going to be a quick video. I'm going to call this video something to the effect of, what would these people do, or what do these people do when there is no food in the stores? Something to that effect. And we see the example of it playing out there within Sri Lanka right now. And the images have been very telling. Okay, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of, the cause and so on and so forth. But from the gist of what I understand of it is pretty much things have got so rough out there that they've taken to the streets, as you can see here. Right, they've taken to the streets, and ultimately, they've taken over the presidential palace. Okay, like a coup, right? I believe the president there, he's in hiding right now or something like that. So you got a real situation out there. You got a real crazy situation out there in Sri Lanka right now. You got a real crazy situation out there in Sri Lanka right now, man. But that's all a similitude of what's gonna happen out here within the world. Let me see if I can go to this. Let me show you something right here. This is gonna be let me put protest in there. Protest. This is what's coming to these places like Britain, because it all starts off with a little bit of confusion and a little bit of instability, right? But ultimately, it's gonna lead to this. This is a fulfillment of the scriptures. This is a fulfillment of the scriptures, and as we're going to see some of the reasons from these articles as to why they're in upheaval, then you're going to understand that this is kind of coming to, well, not kind of, but it's coming to all of these places throughout the four corners of the earth. Here we go. They said protesters set fire to Prime Minister's home, and Boris Johnson, he just done a terrible job for England, that he basically was forced out of the position. But it's all smoke and mirrors, man. Okay, it's all smoke and mirrors. This is all by way of the elite banking families, and the elite banking families are destabilizing the global economy. And obviously, the weaker economies are gonna fail first. I mean, that goes without saying. All right, you don't have to be a super intellectual individual to understand that when these economies fail, obviously these poorer nations, they're gonna go first. All right. Why the country's economy crash? Sri Lanka's department minister says that the island's nation's debt-laden economy, of which all of these economies are based off of debt. What do you think happened in 2008? Right, when 2008 crashed, it crashed as a result of debt, and it started out there within America, man. And money runs out to pay for fuel and food, you better believe that's coming to a city near you. Sri Lanka's prime minister said late last month that the island's nation's debt-laden economy had collapsed, and it's run out of money to pay for food and fuel. And this is what happens when these people run out of food and fuel. Take to the streets. Okay, they take to the streets. Right, they take to the streets, just like how the scripture says within the book of 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter. The national don't regard their kings nor princes. But see, the elite banking families want you to do that, because when you take to the streets, it's gonna justify them bringing the special ops. Okay, and when they bring the special ops, all right, that's when you're going to be in full-fledged NWO mode. Let's see if we can pick out some more good points out of this one. Prime Minister Ranil, who took to the office in May, was emphasizing the monumental task he had faced in turning around an economy he said was heading for rock bottom. And all of these economies, they ain't looking too great. Right, they ain't looking too great. In fact, if I go to UK economy, let's see. Right, let's see what they're saying about the UK economy. Right, UK economy is stagnant. Okay, stagnant. Energy dispute sends clear message to global economy. Boris Johnson has left the economy in a perilous state. Let's go to US economy. And they're talking some craziness about putting Rishi Sunak as president because as prime minister out here within the UK because he's supposed to be a money man. But last time I checked, this guy hasn't brought out a good policy at all. Right, the whole furlough thing was one of the worst things that anybody could do. Same thing that happened out there within America, where you're getting paid to do nothing at home. Obviously, that's why we're in inflation right now. Is the UK economy heading down? Right. If you got to ask, if you got speculation like that within the market, then the euphoria runs out, and ultimately the market crashes. Okay, let's see. Okay, they're saying they've added jobs. But you got to be careful when they say they've added jobs, because a lot of the times, especially in the times that we're living in right now, it'll be 0-hour contract, which is 0-hour contract. You could add 227 0-hour contracts like all you like. That doesn't mean anything to the economy. Waste. So what else have we got here? Okay, optimistic, but at the end of the day, they're trying to avoid recession. So that obviously means that things ain't too great. And I bet that's how them Sri Lankans were thinking about 2 weeks ago, right? Or 2 months ago, rather more. They was feeling optimistic, but I wonder where all of that optimism's gone now. So where do I want to go? I want to go to, where's the article I was reading a second ago? Okay, here we go. So if we go, Sri Lankans are skipping meals. That's coming all over the world. Does not the scripture say within the book of Mark, the 13th chapter, how that great famine is going to come about upon the entirety of the planet? Skipping meals as they endure shortages and lining up hours to try and buy scarce fuel. It's a harsh reality for a country whose economy has been growing quickly and doesn't that sound like a lot of people, man, with a growing and comfortable middle class until the latest crisis happened. And we're in that crisis time, man. We're in that crisis time. So let me get a few precepts. Well, really one main precept that I wanted to go into now. And this is going to be the book of Mark, the 13th chapter. And I'm going to go straight to the point. Mark 13. Mark 13. And straight to the point. All right, Mark 13:8. For nation shall rise up against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrow. So with that, I'm going to say, all praise unto Yahweh, Kodash, double honors unto the apostles, a great millstone, and all you brothers to be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.